I'm Jess. Welcome to my channel. I am a Notion girly. I love Notion so much. Notion is like a really cool way I've used as an adult to keep my life together. Whether you are in like a corporate setting, you own a business, you're a student, you're just a regular person, I think there are so many different ways to use Notion. I personally would still consider myself a beginner even a year in. There's some pretty advanced things you can do with creating databases and lots of different things, but today I'm going to be teaching you kind of from the average Joe 10 ways you can use Notion to get your life together and organize things. So first I want to show you my homepage because I think it's gorgeous. I think what's so cool about Notion is how customizable it is, and so I really wanted it to like represent my personality, if that makes sense. This is my homepage. It's got my little disco ball I thought was so cute. Every page has like a banner at the top if you want it to, and you can customize what that banner is. And then they also each have an emoji, which is super cute. So I had to do the star eyes. My homepage, I call it Jam Home. I title a lot of stuff Jam just because my initials spell out jam. I divided mine personally into daily things, weekly things, stuff for my digital life, long-term things I'm thinking of, and then miscellaneous things because I didn't know how to sort it. First thing I would do, I like to call this mega to-do list. On my board, actually, I think it's just called things to do. But the mega to-do list is where you drop everything you have ever said, oh, I should do blank, or I need to go to the dentist in 6 months, or I need to make this appointment, or next week I'm going to do this thing. Whatever the 1,000,001 things we have to do in life, put it on the mega to-do list. This is going to be a point of reference. So for me, I may not try and get everything done on the mega to-do list in a day or a week, but this is something I go back to every week, every few days to see, what do I need to be working on? If I have spare time in the day where I could be doing something productive, this is where I go to find my productive things to do. I also have a section of this list where I have completed tasks. It feels so good to be able to go back and see all the stuff you've gotten done. Something I used to like in the beginning that I haven't used as much recently, but I created this weekly agenda template. I copied a Notion template for this, and so I put the calendar widget in here again, and I just made it so each day I could have 3 big to-dos, and then below it I could put more. What I really liked about this one I did though is I also at the bottom of the page I made an archive, and in my archive I can see weeks past and what I accomplished. This was not my idea. I definitely watched other people's Notion videos to get this idea. I can't decide if I'm going to go back to using the weekly agenda because I've been using my paper planner a little bit more, or what I kind of want to do is write down like the 3 things I accomplished each day that I'm like most proud of or that were like the biggest tasks. I'm considering doing that because I don't really track stuff outside of work that way, and I think it could be cool to have this as like a place to record the things I'm getting done in life. Next on the list, this is honestly life-changing, I have a spending log. And before you come at me or tell me this isn't necessary, like I kind of refrained from doing this for a minute because I was like, okay, my credit cards like tell me what I'm spending. Like I pay my bill every month, like I know what I'm spending. But this to me is an added layer of accountability. For me, most weekends, if I haven't already done it throughout the week, I go back in and I record any and all purchases I made during the week. Whether it's on my card or if it was cash, or rarely it could have been check every now and then. And then at the end of the month, right before my new month starts, I add all those totals up and I see what I spent. And then at the bottom of the page, I also have a place where not only do I put the total of the month, but I put what my big ticket items were. This is a really good way to see where's your money going. Do you want it to be going? And by doing it regularly, like weekly, I really think it holds you accountable for what you're spending. Next up, I don't really know what to call this. I think on my board, I call it hours worked, but I would consider this hours worked, project completed. I think for pretty much anybody, this is a good thing to do. For myself, I do a lot of freelance work, so I use this as a place to log the hours I'm completing and the tasks I'm doing within those hours. I would say though, if you're in a corporate setting, everyone's always saying when it comes time for a promotion or asking for a raise, and they're like, okay, but why do you deserve that? What have you done for the last 6 weeks? You can go back to this tracker, which looks very similar actually to my money tracker. You can go back in, and when they say, well, tell me what you've done, if you're putting in real numbers and real specifics, you're gonna have really cool stuff to reference. So for me, like I have the date, I have the client it's for, the hours worked, and then what I actually did. But for you, it could be like the day in work and the initiative we're focusing on, and then the actual like things you did, like whatever it may be, you can totally customize it for your needs. I am such a shopper, so I have a shopping wish list. Sometimes I'm on TikTok or Instagram or the internet and someone shows something really cool and I'm just like, I want a Hatch alarm clock, or I want those shoes, or I want this thing. But because I'm trying to be a responsible adult, I don't go and immediately buy it. The idea behind this is, if you actually think about it, a lot of times you may write something down and within a week or two, the urge or the desire to buy this thing passes. And sometimes that happens for me. Sometimes if something's on my list long enough, I realize, I don't really need this anymore. I also really use this around like the holidays. I like to see if I've had something on the list for a couple months, but the holidays are coming up and I know there's sale times, I'm going to be looking for sales. Or sometimes if I've waited long enough, I may be like, I really want this thing, I'm going to save for it. Or I actually don't want this thing, I'm going to buy a dupe. Whatever it may be, I feel like it just causes you to think a little harder before just like entering your credit card numbers or swiping and going and getting something. I am not a chef, although I aspire to be one day. Like, I would like to be someone who can cook. But one of the most difficult things for me in adulthood has been like feeding myself and just like figuring out what I like to eat and planning out meals. So I made this little cookbook almost, like I don't know what I'd call it. I took the mood board template that Notion has and I went in and I tagged these with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think I have like 14 meals in here, which honestly isn't that many, but what I did is I posted photos of meals I've made, or I found photos on the internet and I wrote down the meal. And this is where I go when I'm about to plan a trip to H-E-B and I have no idea what I want. And I go, oh wait, you haven't had like this meal in a while and you like this one, this one, this one. And I think, okay, these are the ingredients, and I go buy it. The idea is just to have everything I like to eat in one place, so I'm never asking myself what to make for dinner. If you're someone like me who does content creation or something fun like that, maybe you have a hobby, I have a content calendar, which I think is really cool. I like being able to see the thumbnails on these and see what I'm planning to film, but there's ways you can actually show it as a calendar and you can assign these. I think it's really helpful to like have a place where if you're training for a marathon or reading certain books, or like I know I would sometimes be like reading a devotional, and so things where you know there's like a schedule for it, it's really cool to go in and use this calendar. I think it's really helpful to like schedule out your personal projects this way. I think that everyone should have a page like this, whether it's on your Notion or in a journal or on a notes app in your phone. This is what I have here. I think I have it called Things I'm Excited About. Another word for this could be like Things I'm Loving. I just knew when I was starting to make YouTube videos again, TikToks, create content, sometimes in life, people will come up to me like in casual conversation, you know, somebody will be like, oh, what's your favorite movie? Or what do you like to do in your free time? And suddenly my mind is blank. Like when people ask me what I'm interested in, I have no interest anymore. No hobbies. I've never done anything in my life. Now, is that true? No. But for some reason, my mind goes blank when I try to focus on what I like. So I decided, you know what, we're going to write everything down. So for me, I wrote down all these things I'm excited about, and this was intended to be like an inspiration start for me so I would know what to talk about and what to film. But I just think in general, it's really good to know yourself and to be in touch with yourself. So when people ask you what you like or what you don't like, you can confidently answer. And I think if you write this down, once I wrote down the list of things I was excited about, it helped me to know kind of what I wanted to focus on in the next couple months and what my priorities are. If you're feeling really Notion-y, if you've made it to this part of the video, I saved this for later just because in some ways I think it's basic, but also like maybe it's not. Notion girls love their habit trackers. If you're feeling very Atomic Habits-y, that's not a word, I think habit trackers are cool. I just stopped using my Notion one because I had a habit tracker app on my phone, but the habit tracker is cool just because I love all the little check boxes and you can customize your habits. I had made mine, I think the last time I made mine, reading my Bible every day, working on my work, doing a 10-minute clean, and writing in my planner, because those were things I really want to focus on. I think those will lead to better habits in the future. I think these are kind of key habits. But yeah, I have not used this in a hot second. I used it more when I first made Notion. But if you're feeling it, I think that these are super cool. And another thing is, if you're really like super into Notion, you can find ways. Some people program them so that it gives them like percentages of how well they're doing with their habits, or like a progress bar. This last thing is something really aspirational for me. I have written down some of my routines, but what I am really trying to do right now, I'm focusing on trying to establish good morning and night routines. I've also created like cleaning routines of when every month I do these things. So for me, I am trying to like set the foundation for my life, and so I use this as a place to write it down. As I kind of change these routines, I actually go in and change it in Notion. So this is the start of something new. This is me trying to have good routines, and I think that this is a fun place to record it and kind of hold yourself accountable. So those are just 10 things I love to use Notion for. It kind of helped me get my life together. And yeah, I think Notion's a lot of fun. So if you're just getting started, or if you're a beginner like me, let me know. If you have any cool Notion tips or tricks also, please let me know in the comments about that or what you think about my page. I really enjoyed getting to share this with you. If you like this as well, let me know by leaving a thumbs up so I can make more content. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here. If you like it here, be sure to subscribe. I post new videos every week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!